So, Our Place is a huge American cookware brand that has done phenomenally well. It's been worked with the likes of Selena Gomez and now is expanding internationally. And I'd love to welcome to the stage Thea Mathias, the General Manager of the UK for Our Place. Welcome, Thea. I might just move these a bit closer to each other. Right, do you want to just move your chair a little bit forward? We seem very far apart on the stage. Okay. We're just going to have some people coming and sitting down. Fantastic. Welcome, Thea.
Thank you.
Let's just do a quick straw poll. Who knows the brand Our Place, the cookware brand?
Oh, love to see it.
That is amazing. That's probably DTC Live first. Who's got the Our Place one pot? Okay, she's not so happy. Welcome, Thea. Tell us about you and what you do, and tell us about Our Place.
Thank you so much for having me. So I'm the General Manager for Our Place in the UK, and more recently Canada and our newly launched Australia market, which is a full 10 days old. And so I'm broadly responsible for the growth of the brand outside of the US, which was really where it was born just over 4 years ago. So we're still a really fresh brand. So delighted by the number of people who know us already.
And tell everyone, for those who don't know Our Place, about the brand and its most famous product.
So the Always Pan is our hero product, and Our Place creates beautifully designed, multifunctional, non-toxic cookware. So we create cookware, and now actually a whole range of products beyond just the cookware, kitchenware more broadly, for the modern home cook. So really something that you can use in your day-to-day life and doesn't require you to have a full 16-piece cookware set. Just meant to make it easier and get everybody into home cooking.
So Our Place did phenomenally well in America. And why was the decision taken to move outside of the US?
And
how big did you get in America before that decision was taken?
So we launched at the end of 2019 in the US, and we were one of those brands that saw crazy success early on. We wouldn't wish a pandemic on anyone again, but people were stuck in their homes with nothing to do but cook and looking for a little bit of joy in their life and in the home. So we saw that Always Pan really was launched at exactly the right time for the market. So we grew like crazy through 2020, and we hired an amazing team that built out this suite of products. And so it seemed very natural at that point to consider going to Canada, which was at that point really just an extension of the US in the way that we considered it. And then we launched in the UK about 18 months ago, and now 10 days ago in Australia.
What I love when a big American brand comes to the UK is that they normally just install one person. So it's a very glamorous thing. Our Place is coming to the UK, and then here's Thea. Good luck, Thea. You're now responsible for the rest of the world. So what have you been doing?
There are two of us now in the UK, so we're really balling.
But achieving phenomenal results. Tell everyone what you've been doing.
Yeah, so we've been having... We've had a really great time growing the brand in the UK. The UK took to it very quickly. I think we import quite a lot of our culture from the US, and in the US we had a big strategy to get the pans in the hands of as many people as possible. So through 2020 and 2021 it was almost impossible to follow a cooking influencer and not see them using the Always Pan and the Perfect Pot and the products. So we had a little bit of brand awareness when we came to the UK. And we had the benefit of having learned from some of the things that we did in the US. So we launched already with some learnings out of the US, and we knew that we wanted to take a really omni-channel approach and build a brand that was rooted in culture. So one of the things that we did when we launched the cookware brand was try to do something a bit different with the stories that we tell and the products that we create. Because for us, there's nothing more powerful than sharing a home-cooked meal with someone. And we think it's almost impossible to discuss food without discussing culture. Yet somehow that had been the case for years and years and years, where brands just didn't talk about culture. And so we created products that are great to cook with, but also speak to the kind of multicultural society that we live in. So the Always Pan and the Perfect Pot, they're our hero products, but we created what we call traditionware that goes with them that celebrates a whole host of different food and cooking cultures. So we have a Shabbat collection, and we have a Diwali collection, and we have an Eid collection, and we have a beautiful tagine that's made by artisans in Morocco. And so we really use that to speak to lots of different food cultures. And we brought that to the UK and really launched that as the launch pad for the UK.
You took an omni-channel approach in the UK, haven't you?
Yep. Yep.
So what stores are you in, and why was that important as well?
It was really important for us. We always planned to be an omni-channel brand. because our products are very tactile. Like, you want to know if it's heavy. You want to know if it's going to be easy to wash. And so we are in Harrods, Selfridges, Liberty, and Phoenix in the UK. And in the US, we're in some of the bigger department stores, Nordstrom, that kind of vibe. And we have 2 owned and operated stores in LA that we just launched this year, and more to come. And they are beautiful. They're these like amazing shopping experiences with really interactive like places, and we built them to be part of the community. They have coffee shops, we host book launches there, we host the community there, we eat there, we do all sorts. And it's been really important because it's a very good way of building trust in a brand early on. Like,
having the physical presence.
Having a physical presence where someone can see the products. And if you're in Selfridges and Harrods and Liberty of London, like, there's just an implicit trust with the consumer there that it's a real product, that it works, that it's good. And for our products especially, which are big, customers do want to be able to go and feel them and see what they're like in real life. But you don't want to carry them home. Like, you're not going to go to Selfridges on your day out in London and then walk home with 2 pans. So it also needs like a really strong online presence. The 2 of them work really nicely together.
Fantastic. And you mentioned when you launched here, there was some brand awareness. Now, you have done something that I think lots of brands would think about doing, yearn to do, would hope to do, which is partner with an A-lister. In the case of our place, that was Selena Gomez. So what happens when you partner with Selena Gomez? Does it work? Is it worth it?
It is so worth it. If you get a chance to partner with Selena Gomez, I would do it. She was a great fit for the brand when we got the opportunity because she had already a cooking show. She had Selena and Chef, and she cooked a lot, and she spoke a lot about her Latin American heritage when she was cooking, and so that was a really nice fit for the brand. And we really wanted to present ourselves as a brand that's for the home cook, and that's what she feels like. So that was great. And she also has a lot of fit with the brand from a kind of like ethical standpoint because she runs the Rare Impact Fund, which donates money to mental health access, and our collections with her donate a portion of the profits to her Rare Impact Fund. So that was great, and we saw a huge boost in brand awareness as a result of working with Selena Gomez.
I mean, you've been able to measure that through post-purchase surveys, haven't you? So what do they say?
Something like 20 to 25% of people heard about our place through the Selena Gomez collection. We've done 2 collections with her now. We're on our 2nd.
It just launched, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we started working with her when the brand was only 1 year old. So you can kind of imagine the chaos. We had nothing worked out. We were working out all our own internal processes, how to do everything. It had scaled much faster than we were expecting. So we were already in this like crazy growth phase, and then at the same time trying to work out how to deal with working with a super celebrity like Selena Gomez, who was, for a point, the most followed woman on Instagram.
And are there any pitfalls? Like, is there anything that any brands in the room considering that sort of collaboration should be aware of when going into with a relationship with someone so famous?
It takes a lot longer than we were used to. Like, there's more approval processes, there's a whole team to go through. She's been absolutely great to work with, actually. She's fab. She's like really, really open, really helpful. But of course, her face and her name is her brand, and so she's protective of that. And it's a new thing to consider when we were building the business at breakneck speed at that point in time. And so it was definitely complicated, but we figured it out. I think if we were to do it again, we would try to be really clear earlier on exactly what we needed out of her, because that would reduce the number of times that we need to go like back and forth with her team and make sure that we get approvals and make it all work.
I mean, our place has so much going on, that stuff I know you guys want to hear us. So we've got Selena Gomez, and next is our whole sustainability and all the work you do in sustainability. Now, that's something that's a massive buzzword. All brands talk about it. Lots of them kind of just are skirting around the fringes. And I think all brands think it's important, and sometimes we wonder how much it's important to consumers who, when you're on the very front line, they seem to vote more with their wallets. But what's been some of the sustainability achievements you've had? Because it's incredibly throughout the Our Place brand, isn't it? The sustainability ethos and actions.
Yeah, in truth, we really do it because we're trying to build a long-term business, and not really because it drives the consumer purchase at any given point. Having seen that really fast success early on, it's very easy not to put these building blocks in place. But I think if you want to build a long-term business, it needs to move with those times. So we try to think about things sustainably and just like make kinder decisions the whole way through. So we're really, really thoughtful with our packaging. All of our packaging is recycled, recyclable. There's no single-use plastics. We're always innovating to make it smaller so we can reduce the impact of transit. The boxes are actually 50% smaller than they were when we launched, which, considering we're only 4 years old, is already pretty good going. And then the products themselves are made in the best factories that we can find around the world, which is just more expensive, right? Because it means that all the different parts are made in different places. We have a much more complex supply chain to manage, but we think it's the right decision for the long-term health of the business. And our core product, the Always Pan especially, has 2 very specific features that we do try to speak to customers about, because most of it we don't really speak to the customer about because they don't really care, to be honest. We'd love for them to care, but they don't really. So we think there are 2 areas where the education for the customer actually is important, and we try to educate them. The first is around the non-toxic coating. So we have a proprietary coating called Thermokind, which is made without PFAS or forever chemicals. And about 95% of the cookware on the market is made with PFAS and forever chemicals, so called because they basically don't really break down in the environment or in your body, and they are some of the biggest pollutants in the environment. They're also linked to a host of negative human health outcomes, and people just don't really know about it. So we try to educate consumers on to make better choices for the coatings that they use. You're cooking with this, you're putting food in this, and then in your body. So that's one area where we really do try to educate consumers. And the other area where we try to educate consumers is that the Always Pan is made with 100% post-consumer waste recycled aluminium. And lots of products claim to be made with recycled materials. But mostly what that means, especially in the cookware space, is that they take fresh metal scraps from the factory floor and they call them recycled. Whereas we really took products that had been in someone's home, have been loved as an item, we brought them back to the factory and we recycled them into these beautiful products.
One of the things I loved about when we were planning what we're going to say is, we talk about telling stories through the funnel and sequential messaging. And I think these guys do it really well in terms of, and I might simplify it here if I do. If I do, I apologise. But essentially, we're always asking, we hear from brands all the time, how do I get cut through? How am I going to get cut through? These guys lead, as I understand it, with hype. So lead with kind of excitement, then go into product messaging as they're communicating with their prospect customers, and finally go into sustainability. And that's what works for you as a storytelling sequence, isn't it?
Yeah, we really use, as we understand the consumer goes through the journey and the way that they make the decision to purchase.
Yeah.
So it starts with oh my God, this amazing brand that has been in the US and taking things by storm has just launched in the UK, or it's just launched in Australia, and they work with Selena Gomez, and oh my God, isn't this exciting? And they're in Selfridges. And then we move to kind of the aesthetics of it, and aren't they beautiful? And look, it's pink. And then we move to, and it's so multifunctional, and you can do all this stuff with it, and it replaces 10 other pieces of cookware in your kitchen. And then we move to, it's actually also really innovative. We hold nearly 150 patents on the cookware alone. This is actually something new. And then eventually we get to the messaging around the sustainability parts of it.
And then they buy?
Well, hopefully they bought before that, to be honest. Hopefully they bought right at the beginning.
Fantastic, Thea. Thank you so much. So Thea will be here for most of the day, actually. So if you guys have got questions for Thea and about our place and working with A-listers, then just grab her and ask the questions. But congratulations on all your success. And there's a few other people here who are in very small teams responsible for international expansion who I will introduce you to, because you guys will have loads in common.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thea. Thanks. And that's what works for you as a storytelling sequence, isn't it?
Yeah, we really use, as we understand the consumer goes through the journey and the way that they make the decision to purchase.
Yeah.
So it starts with oh my God, this amazing brand that has been in the US and taken things by storm has just launched in the UK, or it's just launched in Australia, and they work with Selena Gomez, and oh my God, isn't this exciting? And they're in Selfridges. And then we move to...
You guys will have loads in common. Thank you, Thea. Thanks.
Manager for our place in the UK, and more recently Canada and our newly launched Australia market, which is a full 10 days old. And so I'm broadly responsible for the growth of the brand outside of the US, which was really where it was born just over 4 years ago. So we're still a really fresh brand. So delighted by the number of people who know us already.
And tell everyone, for those who don't know Our Place, about the brand and its most famous product.
So the Always Pan is our hero product, and Our Place creates beautifully designed, multifunctional, non-toxic cookware. So we create cookware, and now actually a whole range of products beyond just the cookware, kitchenware more broadly, for the modern home cook. So really something that you can use in your day-to-day life and doesn't require you to have a full 16-piece cookware set, just meant to make it easier and get everybody into home cooking.
So Our Place did phenomenally well in America. Why was the decision taken to move outside of the US? And how big did you get in America before that decision was taken?
So we launched at the end of 2019 in the US, and we were one of those brands that saw crazy success early on. We wouldn't wish a pandemic on anyone again, but people were stuck in their homes with nothing to do but cook and looking for a little bit of joy in their life and in the home. So we saw that Always Pan really was launched at exactly the right time for the market. So we grew like crazy.